As the January transfer window is on the horizon, there are lots of players rumoured to be moving, so I'm taking a look at my top 7 movers for early 2021. In at number 7, it is Isco. Now, everybody knows that it has been a real struggle for him so far this season to try and get some game time. And although he's been at the club since 2013, I think we can all agree that it's time to move on. With the Euros fast approaching, Isco is desperate for some game time, so this means Madrid may let him leave on a loan and then make it permanent at the end of the season. Now, Juventus seem to be the front runners here, but they will face fierce competition from the likes of Everton, Arsenal and AC Milan. The main issue here with Isco is salary demands. He reportedly wants €6 million a season and he's not expected to lower his demands. But if it's game time that he needs, maybe he will sacrifice the money to get some more minutes on the pitch. I guess we will just have to wait and see. Next up at 6, it is Marcos Rojo, and I'm sure that Manchester United fans will be singing hallelujah from the rooftops with this one. Since he signed in 2014, it's just been a mixture of not the best form and a lot of injuries, and why he actually signed a new contract in 2018, I will never know. He has barely featured for United. This season, he's played 45 minutes for the under-23s, and last season he only featured 10 times for the Reds. He did go to Estudiantes on loan in January. That didn't end up being permanent, and he just needs to move on from the club. And to be honest, the defender is not short of options. Sheffield United and Newcastle are both apparently interested in the player. Why they're interested, I'm not too sure, because I'll be honest, over the years, Rojo has not really shown any consistent form, and like I say, he's always riddled with injuries, but he needs to move away from Manchester United. These teams clearly need a defender. He's lucky to even get a move in the Premier League, I'll be honest, so I think he should take this one and run. Number 5 is Riqui Puig. Now, when I first heard about this one, I was quite surprised, but when I then learnt about his sour relationship with Ronald Koeman, no wonder he wants out. Now, allegedly, Koeman told him to look for a new club, stating that he wouldn't get any playing time. But when this became public knowledge, Koeman was allegedly livid, and he accused Puig in front of all the other Barcelona players of leaking the information. Not a good look. Of course, Pook has ended up staying at Barcelona, and although he has been named as quite a bright young prospect for the side, he's barely appeared. At the time of filming, he's only actually made 1 La Liga appearance, and it gets even worse. Since all of this drama, Koeman has then come out with a few possibly sly digs towards the player. He said that he only wants players that are willing to put in all the effort, and sometimes some of his players in training do not put in enough effort, and that's why they don't get played. If this isn't a dig at him, I don't know what is. So it's safe to say he is on his way out. And where? Leeds United, apparently. Now, at this point, I think this would be a really good move for him. Whether it's a loan or permanent, I'm not too sure. But, you know, at Leeds, he would have a manager that I'm sure if he's signing him, he's got to believe in him. So a little bit more belief from his coach. He's then not going to have too much pressure of having to deliver week in, week out, because he is a young player, but still enough pitch time to gain a little bit of confidence after all this drama. So hopefully it can be resolved and he can get a fresh start in January. The player in 4th is Christian Eriksen, and it has been a bit of a nightmare for him. So he moved from Spurs to Inter Milan. Great move, chance to play in Italy. Apparently he was getting about €10 million a season. And what's he got to show for it? Barely any appearances and being frozen out by Antonio Conte. At this point, nobody needs a move more than Eriksen. You know, Inter Milan clearly don't want him, they don't want to play him. Eriksen can't be happy, and like a lot of other players in this video, he will want some game time because of the Euros, so a move just makes sense for everybody involved. But where would he go? He's not necessarily setting the pitch alight at the moment, he's barely getting on the pitch, let alone setting it alight. But he's still worth a transfer, and apparently Arsenal are interested. This one I could see happening, and he's also been rumoured with Manchester United, as Inter want to do a swap to get themselves Donny van de Beek. However, for Manchester United, I cannot see this one happening. They have literally just bought the youngster, and why would you swap such a young talent for a player that's really been struggling recently, and he is 28? Just doesn't make sense, so my money's on Arsenal for this one. They need a little bit of an injection of some life and some creativity, and hopefully Eriksen can do this for them. At number 3, it is Fabio Vieira. The young Porto star has reportedly been on Arsenal's transfer wish list for quite some time, and also Marseille's, despite despite the £27 million release clause. The 20-year-old midfielder can play through the centre or on the right and has risen through the ranks at Porto's academy, making his first team debut at the end of last season, and he's already being hailed as one of Portugal's brightest young talents. With this in mind, it seems like Porto are going to try and get him to sign a lucrative contract. This means that they can ward off the likes of Arsenal and Marseille. Now, he may not be a guaranteed goal scorer, he hasn't actually scored too many this season so far, but Arsenal have been watching him for quite a number of years and they are now ready to make the move and pay the money. So with things going in a bit of a downward spiral for Arsenal at the moment, Vieira could be just what they need. Coming in at number 2, it's Dele Alli. As we all know, he has had a real nightmare, such a fall from grace. He started out at Spurs as such a bright talent, especially under Pochettino, and since Mourinho's been in town, he's really struggled to find his form and he's really fallen out of favour, to be honest. He's barely started in the Premier League and at the time of filming he's only started 2 Europa League games. The 24-year-old has been linked with a move. He's been linked with this move since the summer to PSG and finally it could be happening. PSG would surely be a dream move for Dele Alli, the chance to reignite his form alongside the likes of Di Maria, Neymar and Mbappe. However, I do worry if he would get enough playing time. But there are options in the Premier League. Newcastle United and Everton are reportedly interested in the player, and I think either could work out as a decent move. No shade to Newcastle, they're still a really good team, but I do think going from Spurs to Newcastle would be quite a drop down for Dele Alli. I think Everton would be a really good move, especially with how well they've been performing recently. So yeah, they both could probably use some extra creativity and some squad depth, both could work. It will be really interesting to see what happens with the Dele Alli transfer, but one thing's for sure, if he wants to resurrect his career, he needs a move and he needs one fast. And finally, number 1, it is Karius. Since that dreadful Champions League night, he has had absolutely zero luck. He went on a long loan to Besiktas, it didn't work out, his form was questioned, there were problems with his wages, and Liverpool ended up recalling him. They've then sent him out to Union Berlin. He's German and moved back to Germany, maybe that would be a good fit for him, but again, it's been an absolute nightmare. How many appearances has he made for Berlin? Just 1. And in that 1 appearance, he conceded 3 goals. It has been awful for him. So it looks like the loan deal could be ended, which would mean he would be recalled back to Liverpool. But would this mean that we would see him playing for Liverpool? Absolutely not, let's face it. Liverpool, of course, already have 3 goalkeepers. They've got Alisson, Adrian and Kelleher, so like I say, he's not getting a look in. It's really sad to see what has happened to the player. You know, he's gone from playing in one of the greatest teams to now struggling to even get any game time. So let's hope that Liverpool can find an appropriate club for him to help him regain a little bit of confidence and some of that form we once did see. So those are my 7 top movers in the January transfer window, but what do you guys think? Get involved in the comments. Make sure you check out all the other content that we've got here, and I will see you guys soon.